I have worked in the nonprofit sector for over 25 years. I have seen a lot of stellar programs, but I can say that this program has touched lives. It has saved lives. It has helped so many people, young people, older people, people across generations. As you'll see throughout this video, it takes a village, and we have had so many different people, from school administrators to members of religious organizations to nonprofits to just people from the community, grandparents, uncles, aunts. Everybody, you name it, has been touched by this program. We have trained over 1,400 people in the community. That's 1,400 people that now will touch many, many more lives with Youth Mental Health First Aid.
So Youth Mental Health First Aid is a national, actually international evidence-based training that is designed to raise awareness and increase understanding and destigmatize the topic of behavioral health.
Because I work in a school district, for 10 years, almost 11 years, I was in the middle school, and we had a lot of youth. Obviously, during that age, it's the time where they're going through so many different changes physiologically, emotionally, socially, all of those different things. So I'm really, that's what really was the impetus in me really getting to be a part of this, so that I could be more of assistance to students, gaining that background knowledge of exactly what youths deal with, but at the same time, being that person that our youth can go to, being that person, if they have one person that they could go to and lean to let that anxiety kind of be set aside or subsided for the moment. I wanted to be that person in the school setting.
You don't know what a kid goes through, even just to get up enough to get to school in the morning. You don't know what type of household he came out of. So when a kid is acting up, is it they're acting up because they're having problems in school, or is it from problems from home? So we try to use our training for the basis of trying to find out, well, what is causing you these problems?
The Youth Mental Health First Aid Program is a program that was put together to help support families to understand more information about mental health issues that young people are going through. It gives descriptions of different diagnoses. It also gives ideas on how to support the youth from a family point of view. Also, it talks about different services that are available to them as well. It would also help for us to be able to not diagnose, but to recognize signs and symptoms of youth that may be in crisis, from a low-level crisis to ones that aren't going to necessarily require emergency services.
And I think basic first aid, CPR, nobody questions that when it comes to physical health, similar to the point that was made earlier. We talk about that freely, and it makes sense to us that we should have those basic skills. And that's what this is about too, mental health first aid. It's really to help people have a basic understanding and some basic tools, and to not be afraid to ask the questions.
When I was a sophomore in high school, I was part of a big choir called the Maestro Singers, which is huge in Coatesville. I'm still part of that choir today. Unfortunately, we lost a senior to suicide, and her death resonated with all of us. And I feel that even though we lost such a beautiful life, no one's talking about why we lost that life. Yes, it was her own decision, but things could have happened. Someone could have said hello to her that day. Someone could have done something. She could have thought something differently. I think if someone in her life had taken this course, maybe, just maybe, that wouldn't have happened.
It's something that has been stigmatized in our society for a long time. It's not something that's talked about. When people have problems, they don't talk about them. They may not even, or often do not, reach out for help or try to get help. So this program was introduced as a way of sort of familiarizing more people, the general public, with mental health issues, and also to feel more comfortable addressing people who appear to be in distress.
I was president of SAG Club during high school, and SAG Club stands for Students Against Destructive Decisions. So we kind of promote healthy living around campus. We run campaigns to promote good sleeping habits, no drugs, positive mental health, and stuff like that. So we're a very positive group on campus. So I encourage everyone in our club to take the training. And after they went through it, it was like this positive group of kids that could walk around campus and make sure that everyone was okay.
It taught me a lot how to listen to other people, and since I've taken it, I've just felt like more comfortable in a situation when I'm talking to friends of mine about not even just mental health problems, but just any issues in their life. I've learned how to listen to them and how to talk to them, and it's been amazing to feel more comfortable doing that.
It's important for these kids to know they're not alone, that there are a lot of people that feel this way, and not just teenagers, adults also, and that everybody needs somebody to talk to. You can't do it by yourself, and you're not alone.
This program in particular was found to, just after 8 hours of a training, was found to improve attitudes towards persons living with mental health conditions. So people who did the training, on average in the beginning, were already fairly okay. They felt okay about individuals living with mental health conditions. This program improved the positive attitudes towards persons living with mental health conditions.
At United Way, we hear from people almost every day that they've encountered some sort of a problem in their life, and if you roll back what the problem is, very often there's a component of a mental health issue. Whether it's someone who's calling because they've lost their job or can no longer afford to pay their mortgage or can't afford their prescriptions or health care. As you peel that onion, you can see that there's something more that meets the eye. And so, again, I feel like this problem is so pervasive and it touches so many of us that when we have the tools to get out in front of it and prevent it from getting to the point where someone's in crisis, I think that's absolutely imperative.
So the youth mental health first aid training definitely complements what we're trying to achieve with the Chester County ACEs Coalition. And it's really just to be able to educate, bring awareness on trauma and toxic stress in childhood, but that also could mean anything about mental health in general. You know, I think these two topics really go hand in hand. And we're really working together on promoting the Youth Mental Health First Aid Program, and they're working with us on promoting the Chester County ACEs Coalition. So I think what we're also trying to communicate with both is that approaching someone non-judgmentally is so important, and understanding more of where they have come from and what they've experienced. You know, in trauma-informed care, there's just this brand new approach that we're really trying to convey, which is, you know, instead of asking somebody what's wrong with them, asking what had happened to them.
One of the great things about the Coates Ferry School District is over the past 4 years, there have been so many positive improvements. And I say in the Coates Ferry School District, and I mean in every part of the community, not just the school district, but in the 9 municipalities that we support and that our children come to us from. And we have seen tremendous strides in the things that are happening with graduation rates, and we've seen improvements in our curriculum and our technology and the engagement of our community in our school. And the future for our children looks bright when I think about children that are now able to go to dual credit and to graduate with an associate's degree, and all of these opportunities that never existed before are now being put in front of them. And I see the Youth Mental Health First Aid is another pillar of that. So we have this pillar of academics that we've built and we're continuing to build, and we have this community engagement that we're building, and we have this opportunity to take our youth and to all the people that care for them and say, let's build a strong foundation and a pipeline of people who understand youth mental health first aid. This has been an integral part of the many good things that are happening and will continue to happen in the Coatesville Area School District. It's a new day, a new dawn has come, and this has been part of that new day. And undoubtedly, it wouldn't be the same without it.
So we've been lucky in Chester County that since we've implemented mental health first aid, and particularly even here specifically in the Coatesville community when we've implemented youth mental health first aid, we've had a pretty warm reception. So it has not been a challenge to have people register or attend the training, or to have people solicit to have the training come to them. And that might make us a little unique as a community, but I think overall we've had a really warm reception. And so we've been really grateful and always humbled by that, because people want to know, right? They want to understand. And so for me, I think, when I think of the work that we've done, there's so much pride. And we've been able to certify 3,500 people, give or take, maybe nearly 4,000 people in the whole community. That includes both the targeted efforts here in Coatesville as well as the larger community in the past 4 years. And so for me, I think the momentum that we've gleaned here, right? Like what we've learned from this strategy over the past 4 years, the ability to take that, like I said before, and replicate it in other parts of the community, I think is what's the most exciting.
It's just an amazing, truly, I lived in Downingtown for almost 30 years. I just moved to this community. I just moved to Salisbury. And I have always, even though I've lived in Downingtown, I've always felt at home here. It's just this unique place, truly almost like you step back in time. And it always, I think I said this to you before, it just reminds me of Cheers, where, everybody knows your name. You walk through the town and people aren't looking down, they're looking at you directly, they're smiling. And I think it's a community that is definitely on the rebound, that really is going to have, some positive things happening over the course of the next few years. So I'm super excited that we're kind of at the forefront of bringing a healthier community together. And I think that's what this program has done. It really has impacted so many people. It's contagious, it's exciting. People want to help people, and this is a way to empower people to make a difference in other people's lives.